Y'all saw, right? The uh the clip from the article that I took that is pertaining to the article that you can see on the screen right now. We'll bring the article back in a minute. Of course, I gotta do the disclaimers. You know how it goes. So while those disclaimers and stuff are running, let's talk about it. Years ago, I knew when I walked into a certain restaurant, and I won't say where. It's happened to me several times, but this one in particular, it was noticeable. It's like I was the only black chick and people walked on eggshells for me. And I can remember before Tommy Sotomayor got off of YouTube how he said the worst people in the world to serve you in restaurants are black women. Of course, he meant foundational black American women, of course. And the worst women to give service to are black women, foundational black American women. I've learned throughout the years, not because so much because I'm an introvert and this is who I am, that for me to display that I'm an exception to stereotypes, because you're going to have to do that. Okay? Be an exception to that. I've had to dress down, be polite, which I got this from my parents anyway. So I didn't need incidences to tell me this. Go in, chew with my mouth closed, say please, yes, and thank you, asking for things politely. I would say, and this is at a time when I was still working on my master's degree, there was one lady that from the time I walked in, she was always nice to me. It's like she always got a good aura about me. The rest of them are like, when is she gonna pop off when when our service isn't up to her snuff? And I knew why. But instead of being the angry black woman about it, I had made up in my mind that I was going to display myself as a person, period, regardless of race, who knows how to carry myself with class and decorum in public. Now back to the article. This is missed on some of our people in our community. As a foundational black woman in particular, it's getting embarrassing to go out now. Because it seems like between Memorial Day to Labor Day is when the FBA community tend to want to show off the most. And I made a video criticizing some Africans in New York who were crying discrimination, talking about now you want to be black. But I'm a person full of levels. And since there's levels to this stuff, I can understand why some African and some Caribbean blacks want nothing to do with us. So here's the thing. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Some girls get drunk. And the story don't really tell how the fight break out. But fight breaks out. Most of the people on the ship who are seeing it, who are up that early in the morning, are shocked. But you saw the quote in the beginning. Some stood there with amusement. Ultimately, Carnival Cruise has banned them for life, and they're probably going to have to pay the $500 per person fine, because that's the agreement that you agree on to not engage in such behavior on those cruise ships. Look, I don't like cruise ships anyway, in part because I spent time in the Navy, and I felt like because I was on a ship, I don't need to be on a cruise ship. I'd rather be on land as much as possible. But I'm not knocking people who like cruises. I'm never saying never. If I did, I'd do Viking or Princess cruises, or maybe one of those Alaska ones. It's just not something that attracts me. If I ever go, I don't want people to feel uncomfortable because they assume I'm going to get loud and act a certain way. Because you can't solely say, oh, people don't have a right to make those assumptions because of their skin color. Other different races of people do this all the time. The problem for a person like me, who is that gender and that race, is that when I walk in a room and people make faces, and this doesn't happen all the time. This is very rare, honestly, for me. But when it does happen, it's a gut punch. I don't want to feel like when I walk in that room, it's, oh, here we go type of deal. I found this story to be quite depressing, but I put up this because I find it quite telling. The fact that they can use the term laughing with bemusement, because some people gonna do that, because you get out in public, you subject yourself to public scrutiny. And this is just what people are gonna do because you subjected yourself to it. You're becoming something to be lampooned, something to be laughed at. And in the process of making fools of yourself, you fail to realize how it affects the rest of us in the FBA community. Because sometimes it sucks to have to dress down even when I have a bad day and have to smile, because if I say the wrong thing, I might have a black girl attitude. Because we all have bad days regardless of your race and how you identify, okay? But it's harder for me to do that in public. I think that's a bad thing and a good thing. I think it's a good thing because you should not take your strife out on people anyway. I think it's a bad thing because I'm human and it's just gonna happen. Oh my God, she got black girl attitude. I saw this and I'm just depressed. Because when people are laughing at you with bemusement, they're saying you are a sideshow. You just gave these people a show. And it goes back to a video I'm about to drop soon about etiquette. Our community has lacked it severely for at least 6 decades now. Not the entire collective, but a significant number to where people just don't want to deal with y'all anymore. And a young lady made a video this year about black culture and the negativity about it, and it's going viral on YouTube still right now. I don't even need to watch the video to know that she ain't lying. And I wouldn't allow myself, not because I'm in denial, because I know it's an issue, particularly with black women right now. My biggest issue is that opening it just confirms what I felt since I was a kid. And you know it's bad when you can't even go anywhere anymore because of the actions of somebody else in your own community. Let's not pretend this is not an isolated incident. The only silver lining in this, and I know I might lose subscribers and make people mad, is that these people are now showing their face and showing who they are, so that we can avoid them at all costs unless they make the choice to repent of their actions and live a better life and start to get some decorum. 2 things I'm going to say before I end this video. First of all, let's get some etiquette going again in our community. Because as I'm going to say in a video coming up soon, there's a time and place for everything. 3 o'clock in the morning, no time at all, is a time for a woman to get drunk and make a fool of herself in public and be a sideshow. Number 2 is more of a prediction. It's gonna get to where everything is expensive anyway, and travel is no exception. When venues don't want certain type of people, and this goes beyond just black people, so don't come at me with this. When venues no longer want certain types of people, they're gonna do the one thing that we all know is typical. They're going to make entrance into something so expensive that you're going to either have to get desperate and take loans, or you're just going to be so poor you can't afford it. Or they're going to stipulate rules, which they legally can stipulate, to sidestep you so that you can not join that excursion and make things easy for themselves. Know better from this crap and do better. Because when you go out in these streets acting like this, in the society you live in right now, you know good and well it's a reflection on every single last one of us. I get tired of being the introverted little black girl and wondering if the one that came before me is the reason I'm going to be followed in a store. The reason people are going to assume I'm going to snap on them over not enough ice in a glass of water. If people are going to move and cross the street because they think just by me walking, I'm going to hurt them. Y'all need to grow up.